I can only assume that you will enjoy education.
It's 11:59 at Radio Free America, and this is Uncle Sam with music and the truth until dawn. Right now, I got a few words for some of our brothers and sisters in the occupied zone. The chair is against the wall. The chair is against the wall. John has a long mustache. John has a long mustache. It's 12 o'clock, Americans, another day closer to victory. And for all of you out there on or behind the lines, this is your song. Victory. And for all of you.
And welcome, everyone. I think I'm live. Let me know if the audio is coming through okay. And this is our weekly two-way wrap-up, and we're getting everything situated here. So if you're looking at the screen, we will be looking at the description of this video down here. And over here, we'll be paying attention to the comments that come up. It's like DJ's out there joining us tonight. And there's a couple other things quirking us, so thanks to the people that show up and watch the show live. Patreons, of course, have a link to join if they'd like. So we'll dig in with the... we had a poll over on YouTube. So if we click on that link and head over to the poll, we can see that I asked just in general 3 days ago what Second Amendment organization is doing the best this year. And at this point, Gun Owners of America is in a swift lead with 65% over here. And if I go grab another image, oh, I know where it is. If I go grab this other image, which is in here somewhere. Did you see it? Where is it? Where is it? It's in here somewhere. I thought it was towards the top. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's lower. There it is. If we look, I'll just post it and we can look at it. So, where did it go? What happened? Did it not post? Oh, I know what happened. How do I get back? There. So if we look over on the Patreon's coming in at about 50-50 with Second Amendment Foundation coming in at 10 votes and Gun Owners America coming in at 9 votes and FPC just 1 vote. What's up with that? So, is this working? Can you hear me out there? I didn't really get a mic check ever. Assuming it's still working and I'm not just talking to air. Yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting. I don't think I agree with either one of these polls. I certainly don't agree the Second Amendment Foundation is doing the most. I don't know if they're doing anything. Gun Owners of America seems to do stuff and they're improving their game, but I think Firearms Policy Coalition is the one that's just kicking out of the park this year in every other, in lots of different ways. Yeah, so I just keep going because I don't know if it's audio's working or not at this point. So I'll just type it in here. So let's see. So beyond that one, we'll dig into. Oh, so if you want to, you can click over here, and I'll get rid of this one. How do I get rid of this? See, the problem is I clicked on it, I guess. So I have to go back to the community tab, and then I get little dots, and I can delete it. All right. So if you want, you can go into this poll down here and vote on it. I don't know if it'll do much at this point, but feel free to vote on it. Okay, thank you. So let's keep going. So then that's just to kind of start it off. I figured I would do a poll each, maybe not each week, but I'm going to do a poll once in a while. So that's the poll That's your poll this week. Next, we get the best live two-way conversation each week is Locked and Loaded Latinos on Sundays. This was episode 43 this week. The best show ever? Maybe not the best show, but it's an authentic show and a real show. So I'm going to leave it at that. And then we've got DC Project New Jersey Fundraiser. So when I watched this thing, I was thinking, this is pretty cool. So Teresa got Holly, and then keep going. I don't really know who she is, and she's somebody new. She might own the house. I don't know who she was. And then she was all right. You got Holly's. Lauren, and then you get Gabby. It's pretty awesome in this one. Then you get Armed and Feminine. Right, it's starting to get dark, and then this whole chunk is Dick Heller. Dick Heller, holy crap, he went all over the place. Then it gets dark, and then that's pretty much the end. I don't think that was everybody, but that was pretty neat. So you get an hour of it, and I thought, wow, that was pretty cool. Getting an hour of their New Jersey fundraiser, like just seeing it, that's pretty cool. Kind of like what we got to see in Florida when Locked and Loaded turned their cameras on of the speaking parts of it, right? So you're seeing the speaking parts of it. There's all kinds of other stuff going on, right? Other things happening at the same time. Mute here as I drink. It's super dry here. And I haven't drank enough water today. So let's see. We're next going to get into... So I thought that was going to be what we're going to get from DC Project this week. Nope. Because then I started seeing posts on Instagram that Dianna and Gabby were getting together in DC. And sure enough, Dianna goes and does another testimony to Congress.
We have to protect our children like we protect people in this building.
That part I didn't like so much, but when you get to the end here, right before they cut her off rudely, you get to this part, which I put on Instagram. I guess I could go watch the Instagram post. It's about the same thing.
It's very dangerous for police officers, extreme protection. But, I was struck by us saying that we want to do nothing. I gave like 12 pages of testimony of things that I want to do, and everybody's talking about laws and things that I have ideas, and that's what I'm saying is a big injustice, is that you're not listening to me. It's you. The anti-gun people are so closed off to anything but their own agenda that they can't hear that we have measurable results in firearms education, and that we should be teaching our kids how to properly and safely be around firearms. It's just like water safety.
You're doing great, but I promise my
Asshole. So look at that. There's no pauses. It's not like a rehearsed robot speech. That's real awareness, like real competency in the content, right? And then just well done presentation. And at the same time, she's throwing down solid, logical facts. It's that fact that a retired police woman, a competition shooter, and the head of a organization that represents so many ladies that have her same opinion on this. It's changing. It's changing. It has changed things, and it is changing things. The fact that they can call on her as a reliable expert witness at this point, person to offer testimony, is testament to that, right? So amazing. I don't know how many other people, I don't watch anybody that sucks. I don't know how many of the people that suck are even paying attention to that. But that's changing stuff right there. And we get to see it. Better than CNN too. Because not only do we get the footage from like the CNN perspective or whatever that was called, C-SPAN perspective, from what the representatives saw, right? But you also get their cell phone version. So since the ladies are there being real humans and not paid by the richest person on the planet, they're just there doing their thing. They're on their own time. They're paying their own way. So they're having fun and trying to enjoy their lives while they're doing it. They are definitely friends with each other. So Gabby was taking pictures of Dianna and vice versa, and they're posting that stuff individually and together on their various social platforms. So not only is it creating more and more content, but it's given us more and more insight to the struggle, the work that the ladies are doing, and then the effect that they're having, and they're archiving it. So unlike a lot of the Discord junkies who are addicted to hiding everything they do, I don't even care what they're doing because it's completely hidden, right? These ladies are doing it all out in the world. They're out doing it so that others can find it, and it's accumulating. It's awesome. All right, then we get Black Man with a Gun in Washington, D.C. What? So Ken Blanchard is doing his thing again.
Friend and your brother, Reverend Ken Blanchard, and one of the things that I have been doing, and I think I'm going to do it solo for the good of all. I've been doing this thing since 1991, and I think I'm going to do it solo for the good of all.
So he's been an activist, one of the first big-time 2A activists, like he just said, in 1991. He started doing his thing after being Marine, I think, and then CIA, and around firearms. In 91, there was no scene, right? He was one of the people that created the whole concept of a gun community, people that get together and meta, right? We talk about guns themselves, not just the practical items, and we don't just observe, but we take action and do things. And Ken Blanchard, Reverend Ken Blanchard, was one that started all that. Last year, beginning of 2 years ago, beginning of 19, actually, it wasn't in reaction to the craziness. He actually had called it before that. But in 2019, he had said that he was going to retire as a reverend and someone who had other things going on in his life. He was going to start a podcast and do some other projects, ride a motorcycle, play guitar, and do some singing and things, like just, explore some other creative ventures with his time. And somewhere during last year, you could tell that he was paying more and more attention to 2A stuff. And then with this announcement this week, he's going to start being a lobbyist in Washington. He's getting his credentials and doing what he needs to do as a resident of the state of Virginia. He's right near Washington, D.C., and he explains in that 5-minute video how he's got the opportunity and the ability, so he's going to do it for a while and see what happens. So with the loss of the entities like the NRA and their one of their big roles is in the lobbying, it would be interesting to see what Ken's going to be able to do. And then as an individual, so not like, I don't know if he's going to be like a hired gun, but I'm thinking as an individual, he's going to have his own agenda, I suspect. Let's see, then we got Gun Freedom Radio. They didn't have that many shows this week. The one I did post here was Nikki. So Nikki's got an interesting story. I don't know if it's a horrible story, but she's able to express it. And I think this is the 5th or 6th time she's been on Gun Freedom Radio. And she brings up interesting points that if you haven't watched the show or been part of Nikki's story, then it's worth your time. It's definitely worth watching. Now, here's the thing. I almost always am recommending stuff. I want to recommend Riding Shotgun with Charlie, but I don't want to recommend this guy. So I don't know if anybody else watched that one. Let me know what you think. I don't have a problem with the guy, but I got a real problem with the guy. So next up is the Expo. So this one dude's ripping off my old show all the time, except he does it only 2 days a week. And this week he blew it off on Tuesday. He didn't even do it about 2A stuff. He did it about guitars. And then Thursday, it happened also. So here's a link to it if you want to watch it. That guy is called Barbecue. He also does a show with this meat on Saturday. So next up is Crump. There's a lot of people who don't like John Crump, but he offers information that other people don't bother with. He sniffs stuff out and finds things, puts it on the internets in various platforms. And while he does also hide in the Discord, waste his time over there, He's also putting stuff on the YouTube and on the Ammo Land website. So our red flag law is dead. Interesting deal here with the 9-0 ruling from the Supreme Court. I'm not here to talk about all that stuff. You can find other places to talk about it, but we did have that decision this time period, and I used Crump's video there to indicate there's a lot of videos out there to talk about that. Consider creating your own content about the win, the 9-0 decision, and if there's any consequences there. And then, of course, the potential consequences of that Fourth Amendment / Second Amendment issue. Comment period opens tomorrow. Again, I'm using that as a placeholder. That's one of Crump's videos. But I think Jared has a pretty decent one today or yesterday. I didn't link to it because I don't have all the time in the world to edit everything. But here's a link to the place where you can see the comments. Earlier today, I went live on this channel and we checked out the comments. I went live when there was like 14, and then when we left, there was like 70 something. And as of right now, there's 439. I'm going to leave this open and we're going to check, because there's no possible way that the ATF's employees are still working, unless they're working from home on their own schedule, but I highly doubt that. So we're going to watch that and see. But anyway, it says it's up to 439 comments. We have 90 days. It literally just started today, so we have 88 days left or something. And we'll see how many comments come in. As I read some of them this morning, they were, a little bit different flavor than the pistol brace, but definitely looks like we're heading to the same sort of situation. Let's just randomly, since we already know this sort by is bullshit, the government's website doesn't sort. Let's just pick some random ones here and see if these are ones that we already read. No, they aren't. So RE docket number 2021R, proposed regulation changes. I do not support this change. The new interpretation serves to ensnare those who have been following existing regulations for years. Please do not proceed with this regulation change. It's hard to not have respect for this person and like a confidence in the situation, because that's so freaking dead on. Just perfect. This is beyond the dumbest thing I've ever read. The ATF is an illegitimate organization and exists only to infringe on the God-given rights of the American people. As for the receiver rule, where does it end? The American people have always had the right to build their own firearms, and by making it illegal to buy parts to make that easier, you are in violation of the Second Amendment. Will I eventually be in prison for buying a block of steel that a master machinist could turn into a lower? This is a slippery slope that leads to tyranny. Tyranny leads to tar and feathers. So we got some different flavor to them this time around, but we're gonna see. So 439. Let's just make a little note right here. 439, and we'll see if we get any more of those. Take a drink pause over here. I don't even remember when I started drinking coffee, but if you're wasting your time drinking coffee, you don't need to drink coffee. It's a waste of time. All right, so next, we'll go back and look at that in a bit. Link to the ATF comment on frames. Oh, that's what I just clicked on. So when does this become a firearm? Crump had a quick little video here that is pretty apt. It's just 15 seconds.
Biden regulations, this will become a firearm. And 3, 2 are right there.
So that's the point, when they start to redefine, and then who says they get to. It's a lot of fun, a lot of stuff to dig into on that. All right, let's see. So then, since we're leaving Crump, there's this other show I talked about that rips off my old show called the Every Day Once in a While Expo or something. And that dude often has a guy named Tupperware on there who hangs out with him. And that dude is running in for the governor of Ohio. And because I'm pretty sure Crump was on Barbecue show, he met Tupperware And then that brought Tupperware onto Crump Show to talk about running for governor. So put that in there, kind of neat. And you can go check that out. Then we get to the Armed Scholar. This guy and Walt are oil and water. They don't get along. But this is Walt. This is Armed Scholar, right? See, look, they don't even touch each other. So Armed Scholar is got a video up there about the Graham Act, which is pretty cool. I didn't read, well, I don't remember exactly. It said something, the gist of it's going to remove the part on 4473, I think, about if your state has recreational marijuana, it's going to make that conflict go away, or the potential conflict. And, you know, another nibble and another what's the word? Another flank? I don't know what the word is. Another objective to work towards. And I dig it. That's the only thing I've seen on the Graham Act. I don't think anybody else has covered it. So that's FPC, by the way. There's a couple of different lawyers for FPC, and each of them put out their own content, and then together they work for FPC projects, I guess. Then you get Jaeger did a video earlier this week about Patriot Gear Smoke. So I'm pretty sure that's the place that's been doing smoke grenades and smoke stuff for Deca Response for a while now. And I don't pay that much attention, so I guess they've been out of stock, and this was sort of an update to let people know they're back in stock. But they're not just back in stock, they're back in stock with a redesign. And they redesigned their smoke grenade to fit into one of the soda can launchers. So these soda can launcher uppers that you put on an AR-15, you can put the smoke into there and then launch it. I think that's how they start the video, actually. Is this the kind of video games kids play now? Waste of time. So,
and oh well, what smokes and smoked in they've been read, so it works with manufacturing it. They've been read, and then so what did you just fire? And
okay, so that's one of the X products can launchers. He launched the smoke way over there, and then boom, it goes off. So it's a 7-minute video, and it's what, 3 minutes of smoke right there. Pretty decent. And then while they're talking, James just drops the smoke right at their feet. So not only is it a smaller diameter so that it fits into the can launcher, but it's also made out of plastic now. So I'm not sure if I was going to describe the thing, but I don't have to. Here it is. So it's basically the size of a soda can now, and the can part is plastic, and the spoon and the lever and all that are still regular grenade. So two things. One, you can't even get smoke grenades with an actual spoon on top, right? With a pin and a spoon. Those are impossible. You can't buy them at fireworks stores anymore. I've tried for years now, and they don't sell that kind anymore. So you have to buy them from some place that makes them like this. They make theirs with mil-spec smoke, which is cancerous like all smokes, but it puts out good smoke. I forget what they say. It's something cubic feet. If the government is 20,000 cubic feet, theirs are 90,000 cubic feet of smoke. So they cut out a good decent amount, and well, they fit in the launcher. That's super intriguing. Thing is, when you burn them, because they ignite and they flame up. That's how they get the smoke. They melt the can, and that's the part I'm not sure if I dig or not. Actually, the other ones burned a big jet flame out the bottom of the aluminum can anyway, but I guess there's not that big a difference. But the other thing is you can't get the aluminum ones anymore anyway. So anyway, I don't know who's looking for smoke out there, but if you don't even know what smoke is for, or what you use it for, how to use it, then you're probably not paying attention. So next we get Gun Expert. So Edgar from Guns for Everyone. I guess they've been doing this for 4 seasons, and I just didn't know. But it's his fault for not making me aware of it. But it's a pretty decent podcast. It's not so much gun related. They do talk about guns. They're not afraid to or nothing, but they'll talk about other stuff. And since I don't exactly agree with everything, it's more like watching a news show, and I'm not into that so much. But I forget when that's on. Tuesday? Monday? I think it's on Monday when Matt's on. So if I'm not feeling Never Enough Ammo, and listening to a bunch of people talk about movies, video games, or whatever, I'll watch this one, and then, I guess I talk more politics and stuff like that, but not really politics. Anyway, it's palatable. You may not like it, you may like it. Check it out. Then we get the bad market implications of universal background checks. Marksman TV is this place that Roll Call is talking about that I guess I turned them on to. It's a gun shop in Indiana. I don't remember being there, so I'm not sure if I went to it or if I just found them online.
And that's why Manscaped created the lawnmower.
I like that my chick backs my board.
With marksman shooting sports, and we might.
So this dude gets on here and he spent 17 minutes talking about the market implications of universal background checks. So pretty cool. Anyway, Marksman TV is a gun shop in Indiana, and one of their other neat things that they do is do a video with their used inventory each week. I don't know why every gun shop doesn't do that. It seems obvious. It seems like an amazing idea. Let's see. Next we get Patriot, who I don't think watches this show, listens to this show, but he's been doing basically the robot reader of all kinds of interesting things in his series. And this time it's Thomas Paine. I didn't pick this one for any particular reason necessarily, other than I don't know if I've ever focused on Patriot series before, but I certainly haven't picked one recently. So it's just to let people know that Patriot's doing the series. I think I'd rather listen to a human read it than the robot, mainly because I don't mind listening to a robot, but the voice reader robot is just too robot-y, and I'm not used to it. Patriot's more used to it than me. So I'd rather listen to a regular person. So if you know somebody who reads good, then tell them to read good stuff, and then make videos of it. Maybe they'll get some views or something. Let's see. Then we get G23. This guy's all right. And then on Saturdays he does a show, and I don't know if he did a video of it yet, but he bought a bunch of stuff off of me. Thanks very much. And so I sent him a bunch of stuff, for his projects. And this is just a link to his show. There was something else about the Sunday show, or his Saturday show this week. Oh yeah, that's what it is. Oh, you know what? I put out a newsletter. How do I get to my freaking newsletter? Did anybody get the newsletter this week? I'm going to go find the newsletter over here because nobody wants to watch me dig around in stupid MailChimp. By the way, MailChimp's pretty stupid. Oh, look, 2 people unsubscribed from the newsletter, so they must have really liked the newsletter since it went out. Let's see. How do I find the thing? I don't like MailChimp. They mess around with stuff just to mess around with stuff. They're under the business plan of if we move everything around, people think that we are improving things. They're not really improving things. They're just slicing what they already had into pieces and acting like it's more parts. And in reality, it's just really difficult to find the dang thing. So how do I just see the thing? No, they're not even going to show it to me. Anyway, I posted the information here. I always post it on Patreon, and it's more formatted and easier to read. And then I took that information and put it into a newsletter this week, and then it allowed me to put in pictures. YouTube, for whatever reason, even though they've been the second largest search engine on the planet and they've been the predominant video hosting platform, they refuse to give us any HTML in here. Ability to add, more than just a hyperlink automatically, and we can't add any images or anything. So really stupid, and I don't know why they would not allow that. But since I couldn't post pictures here in G23's chat, they let me blab for, a while about the Ring of Fire guns, which I haven't even thought about in a while. So it was kind of fun to stretch those legs, and I'm not going to find the picture. I think I posted on Instagram. Maybe I can find that on Instagram. But that was kind of fun to go back and think about all the different companies and relationships, and then with a couple of people actually paying attention, having a couple of questions to answer. It's pretty fun. So I don't know, I took like a half an hour or more of his show on Saturday. Then Smeggy got all butthurt. Everybody else was getting all the two-way attention, so he had a Smeggy cave. So this is basically a snowman, and he can't do much more 2A anymore because of his little stick arms. but every once in a while, once every year maybe, he'll do a thing where he gets a bunch of people together and talks about guns. It's Second Amendment, really. And that's what happened. Then I watched Masada Ayub and the guy from Wilson Combat basically hone most of y'all. Basically, they were trolling everybody and talking about 9mm, and you can watch that video. And then there's a bunch of stuff on eBay, which actually is over by now, so I didn't know it wasn't really appropriate to stick it here. There are some other things on eBay still. If you want to buy interesting things, go over to eBay and buy stuff off of us, and that'd be awesome. Let's see, beyond that, let's go back over to the regulations. Let's see what number it was at before, 439, and then we'll refresh. And it's still at 439. All right, so they're not necessarily putting new comments in, but it is interesting to see what they're doing over there. All right, so that's what we got this week in the wrap up. Everything else probably wasn't 2A, or I didn't see it, or both. So we'll go through the comments over here and see if anything happened. So DJ was first one to come in, so he wins. Echo came in close second. I already mentioned Echo does a bunch of shows when he feels like it, and when you see one of those on, do yourself a favor and watch it, because he only invites people that are worthy of talking to, and they have good conversations. Not that he's exclusive, it's just that he doesn't know anybody that's an idiot, so he only invites people that ain't idiots. It's pretty good. Woods is out there. It's his birthday, so a bunch of us are older than you. I'm not saying we're better than you because we're older than you. We just know more and we're wiser than you. That's all. And he's in that club of people that are, better than everybody else. Let's see. Then we got Walt, who's not old. He's young, and he's over here talking about dancing. I don't want an activist. I just want to dance. See? DJ's DJing us with a bunch of different comments. And then Razy saying I'm right. So I don't know who you are, but you're right. So thank you for saying I'm right. Pretty observant of you. The most common set measure is the Graham Act. Yeah, I agree. Oh, wait, what does this say? Would restore the Second Amendment rights of cannabis consumers in states that have legalized marijuana. Right on. So I thought that's what it was. Been watching that cast since it came back on. What is this on? Been watching that cast since it came back on. Next time I'm in Colorado, I plan by stepping by. The mission of CCW training and 2A awareness is great. So I think he's talking about guns for everybody. It's not just that it's the mission of CCW training, it's free CCW training, right? So is there a way to go to Instagram and then guns for everyone? I don't know if they put it on their, oh, that's guns and gadgets, that's not the right one. Guns for everyone. How about you take me to the one I clicked on? All right, so it's not on there. That's off their thing already. But they offer their CCW classes for free, so that's pretty cool. And then people show up. These are in the evenings. They're free. It's like a social event. People can follow through and get their CCW if they want, and a lot of people do. And then 2A awareness is just out the roof. So what is all this about? W2AWU rules. What's that supposed to mean? W2AW. Washington 2A. Washington Second Amendment Wizard University? I don't even know if I'm all right with that. I don't know what that is. Yeah, people unsub all the time in what's that called? Monkey newsletter thing I have. It allows you to, you can't do anything online without everybody knowing what's up, especially when you pay for a service. So when you unsub from a newsletter, it tells you. And whenever I opened up the newsletter to try to show you the picture that I had in there, couldn't find it, is when I found that 2 people unsubbed, from the newsletter today. Never ending. Here's the deal. I don't do stuff the same as other people do. So if somebody subs to my channel to see gun reviews or some sort of hour-long debate on if the Taurus is as good as a CZ, they're going to unsub, right? So I'm I get more unsubs than subs, really, so I don't even pay attention anymore. Never-ending battle with liberal socialists. I don't know about that. There might be debate, but I don't know many liberal socialists that are battling anybody. Socialists might, you know, the really militant ones, but liberals are usually standing around just talking all the time. Age before beauty. I don't know what that means. Thanks for the recap every week. This is a good resource for those who think no one does 2A stuff online. Well, number one, no one does 2A stuff online. So I hear you, but you're kind of wrong, but you're kind of right because, yes, this is a pretty good wrap up. It's a wrap up for 2A though, not just for gun stuff. So that's the difference. Free mission equals awesome. MailChimp. Yeah, thanks, MailChimp. I don't need to plug MailChimp. They kind of suck. And I think they charge too much because I don't like them that much. Am I going to get rid of it? Maybe. I don't know. They're okay. And I guess they don't charge me so much that I am getting rid of it right off the bat. But I'm getting pretty sick of it. I'm one of them liberal socialists. Let me know who I'm battling. What's that supposed to mean? Now you're socialists? Nice. So nobody jumped in here. They're just chatting out there. So I don't know if anybody is live still. There was, let me go look over here. If I go to subscriptions, Matt's watching some movie, which is not good. So he's watching some movie and they go like, does it suck? Yeah, that movie sucks. I watched it earlier. Or I watched pieces of it and it was stupid. Tomorrow night, Foss is, look at that, they're blocking his thumbnail for some reason. But anyway, he's doing a thing about is failing to training to fail, and that is going to be tomorrow night in the middle of the night for all the people that are decent that stay up in the middle of the night. And then that's taken on, I imagine, because a budget went to Jaeger's class this week. I don't know if is budget live right now. He's probably corking me, but I had my internet go down. I couldn't pay my bill for 2 months, or I didn't pay my bill for 2 months, and they shut off my internet on the night I was supposed to meet up with Budget and do a chat about going to Tactical Response. And then he went to Tactical Response last weekend. I haven't seen him post anything about it, but I'm not sure if Foss's thing is talking about that or not, but we'll see. Cash did an interesting video on one of these, is that a Yugo? Yeah. No, a Romanian. Oh, it's a Romanian. A Romanian RPK. RPKs are probably one of the cooler ones if you can, you know, if you got arms to pick one up. They're not lightweight. And I thought it was a Yugo for some reason. Snap. This is a little tiny 5mm Romanian. These things cost $1,300. $1,300. There you go. So pretty neat gun though. And you used to be able to buy a garbage version of that for like $800 or something. Let's see. Walt did a video yesterday. He claims he's going to delete it, but now he's not deleting it. So probably he is a capitalist because of all the money he's making off of it. What else do we got? What was I coming over here for? Oh, I guess to see if anybody's corking me. I don't know if Budget's corking me or not. I know Matt's corking me, and Liberty Doll, I never talked about her show, but she was on earlier tonight. G23 will be on tomorrow. So when you're sitting around doing your comments to the ATF or reading some of the 439 comments, you could check out the G23 show. And then later on would be Foss's show. I don't know. Gizzard does shows sometimes. Sometimes he doesn't do them. He feels like it. He does them. You know, it's like. And then that show every week is Locked and Loaded Latinos on Sunday. Clover got anything coming up? I don't know. He does a show on Friday. Did you do a Friday show? No, he used to do a show on Friday. I don't think he's doing one right now. I don't know if anybody else got anything else going on. If I'm missing something, I might be. Possible I'm missing something. Actually, over on the calendar, one of the things I did last week, because I'm sick of missing stuff all the time, was added to a podcast schedule a la what we had over on Gun Channels. So people that know what I'm talking about, we used to have the podcast schedule over there. So I added one to guncalendars.com. So we got Gizzard on Sunday mornings, Locked and Loaded Latinos on the evening. Also, Rick is on I don't know what he calls that chat on Sunday. Then you got Clover's Lounge on Monday, right? Edgar with Guns for Everyone on Monday. Matt does his Geek Show on Mondays, and then Polite Society. I don't watch that show anymore, but that show's on Mondays. You got Armed Citizen, that's Ghost, on Tuesdays. Hit or Miss has been on Tuesdays for a long, long time. Barbecue does his fake Daily Gun Show on Thursday, or Tuesdays and Thursdays. And then Sandhills does his show that he never invites me to on Get Off the Lawn on Tuesdays. Then you get Matt's show on Wednesdays where he talks about news, I guess. I don't really go to that show ever anymore. And then Rants and Raves is Roll Call. You got Clover's Studio on Thursday, which is probably the only thing that's worthwhile yet on this whole list. Like, well, except for Locked and Loaded, right? This show's worthwhile. And then this show is like gonna be worthwhile for you. Then you got Barbecue ripping off the Daily Gun Show again on Thursdays when he feels like talking to a. Otherwise, he's just ripping off one of Walt's shows, I guess. Then you got Liberty Doll. She does her show on Fridays. Gizzard does his show. Then you got this show. Oh, you know what? I forgot to put in here is budget. And then we got G23 every Saturday for multiple hours. Oh, except now that Barbecue is doing his meat business, G23 ends up shutting his show down. I think, no, he doesn't actually, because he's talking 2A, which is valid, and then Barbecue comes along and just talks about food. And I think they overlap, so there's an option there. Then you get Foss only every other night because it's so good that if you did it every week, there would be laws that would be put into place. So he knows what he's doing. He only does that every other week. And then you get the Weekly Bullet, which I also don't watch on Saturdays. Then you get Yankee does shows every week. That guy Cam does his show every week, every day, I should say. Yankee does his show every day. Bearing Cam and Company does his show every day. And then Second Amendment Foundation does the Daily Bullet every day. I don't watch any of these every day. I've watched Yankee occasionally, and I don't watch Daily Bullet anymore. Then we get monthly ones. I think one of the best podcasts you can watch for 2A is the Virginia Citizens Defense League. Not only did the Virginia Citizens Defense League literally inspire the Arizona Citizens Defense League, which I believe was the second of the Citizens Defense Leagues, which then directly influenced Florida, Perry, and a couple of others. But then Virginia started to spur other inspirations besides just Arizona. But they now go online as a group, as a club, as a defense league, right? What we're going to call the organization, I guess. And they get together and they have their meetings live, not on bullshit fake Discord, which is garbage, and not on stupid fake Facebook, which is the enemy's territory, but on stupid fake garbage YouTube, which is also the enemy's territory, but it's archivable. They don't delete the stuff, and you can search it and you can find it. Look at this. You want to see something that the Virginia Citizens Defense League has done? Right here. Anybody can go into it without even logging on. Amazing. Awesome effort. They're doing it in front of everybody. These meetings aren't drama, and they're not cliquey. Man, they're just efficient. It's like, it's what you want to see, and that's why I think Virginia is leading the way in so many things. It's Virginia Citizens Defense League. It's not Gun Owners of America. It's not NRA. It's a bunch of people that are just doing it. And Phil did one of the worst faux pas you could ever get. He did one of the dumbest things you could almost do, and he's still just continuing to be valid, because if you're valid, you can make a mistake and still be fucking valid. One of the best things you could watch, and it's so boring. Like, most people aren't going to take me up on that because it's so boring. I don't even watch every one. I'm just saying it is the best one. Monthly podcasts, you get Mike Drop. Can't say enough good things about Mike Ritland. Just does long, authentic, real interviews with people. Lets you can seriously understand their situation and the adventures or the trials they went through. And then their fitness, their entrepreneurial stuff, their motivation, just awesome. Some of the best interviews I've ever heard, and some of the most interesting people ever. I'm going to put in there another one called Combat Stories. I just forgot to put it in here, I guess, which is similar, but only an hour something interviews. And Combat Stories talks to dudes from NOM. So totally different level. Similar, but different level. And then, well, I'm going to put it in here as a monthly podcast, even though we don't get one monthly necessarily, always inconsistently. But Tony Simon's got so much other stuff going on that will take a week and get. The 2A4E podcast is amazing. Tony has a lot of fun. He does his podcast legitimately, not because he's attempting to do something or manipulate. If you want authentic, then check out 2A4E. Every Second Matters is just a campaign where we try to talk about the second on the second day of each month. So that's monthly. And then you get your non-regular, like your non-specific ones that aren't scheduled. And then that starts with Riding Shotgun with Charlie. I think one of the best projects for the Second Amendment that's come out. Not only does it give us insight, it gives Charlie a project that we get to watch develop, which has been awesome. But it also allows people to understand the breadth, the scope of what's all out there. He's on episode 104 or something at this point, and not slowing down, and still hasn't even covered all the different angles and facets, I guess, of Second Amendment advocacy. Then you get Gun Freedom Radio, literally one of the best projects on Second Amendment ever. I've been paying attention to what's going on for a while, and Cheryl and Dan do amazing work over there with their daughter. They make a website resource that, unlike Discord, which is worthless garbage that you waste every moment you spend on it because you're hiding everything you do there from the rest of the world and the future. Like, if you care about your kids, why would you use Discord? You might as well take your time today, wad it up and throw it away. Remove it from ever being useful to your own children. Gun Freedom Radio, on the other hand, puts everything they do on an easy to navigate, amazing website that offers a resource for Second Amendment advocates that I'm trying to duplicate with the Minuteman University project. Like, this stuff is inspirational. And it's continuing, it's ongoing. I don't want to say every single week, but pretty much every single week, a couple of times a week, you're going to get an interview with Cheryl and Dan to either somebody new or somebody, again, who they've talked to. They know everybody in the industry. They supported and have supported. They support and have supported so many people in the industry that their insight and their interviews are just at a different level than everybody else's. Amazing, amazing podcast, worth listening to every time it's on. And they don't bother with listening to people that are useless too often. I'm not going to say every time. They're super Republican and super conservative. So I'm sure some people who can't handle other points of view are going to freak out about that. But if you can handle points of view that are weird and gross and unauthentic and manipulative, then why not listen to somebody who just happens to be super conservative or super Republican? You can learn stuff from everybody if you open your ears. But that's, the worst part about it is that they're unapologetically conservative and Republican. So they'll occasionally have people on, but trust me, if it was too much, I wouldn't be listening to them. And it's not too much. It's just enough to realize who they're coming from. And again, that they're authentic. Too many flags, though. If I could do anything, I'd say put it with the flags, really. But then we get Firearms Policy Coalition, 4 different lawyers, and each of them, and then Craig, and then each of them are putting stuff up. And, some of you don't even know, but some of you may not have realized. But if you go over to stupid Instagram, which is way better than Discord, but still not that good, and then if you put in #tactical, what do you think this is? So somebody's back, and somebody works with firearms policy. Somebody got firearms policy to where they're at today, and it's a chick. And it's a chick on Instagram. So firearms policy is amazing. Like I said, I don't know how they didn't win the polls, but everybody's got their opinion, I guess. Look at this. I put Walt in here, even though he's over here calling himself a socialist. And this dude does a whole nother take on Second Amendment, and he's not consistent because he just does videos when he feels like it. He spends most of his time in the storage lockers of the internet, walled off and hidden. I don't know what they're doing in there. Probably drugs. Then we got Guns and Gadgets. Jared does videos constantly, so multiple times a day, often. I don't watch anything near all of his. I'll watch something occasionally. Often he's got too much coffee ads or whatever for whatever he's trying to do. But I usually find if I'm looking for info on something, his almost always, because he doesn't waste a lot of time, his videos are pretty concise and efficient. Let's see. Liberal Gun Club. I'm finding out that that's a waste of time, but they do occasionally put up something interesting. So how Gun Freedom Radio occasionally puts up something lame, right? They'll occasionally put up something good. Most of the time, their stuff is boring, listening to people who've never done anything before, not listen to other people. But when they don't do that, and they're actually liberals, then it's pretty good. A regular gun guy, he does his almost daily at this point. And not only is he just doing his own thing, and it's cool, and he appreciates good pizza, but he's a new gun owner, just being authentic, but he's bringing other new authentic gun owners. And I don't care. I mean, I don't know about you, but I don't care about listening to people who are just another version of some other guy who was doing it before. And instead, I like watching whatever's next and whatever people that are just doing their own thing and can't get enough of what's going on with the regular gun guy shows. You got John Crump. You know, we've talked about Crump before. Some people hate John Crump, but that dude is constantly out there paying attention to what's going on, getting like little inside scoops and whatnot, and then posting it. I'd say pretty good ratio of useful versus really, I would say pretty high thing. There's things that I've heard other people talk about, so I don't watch his, but there's very few times that Crump is wasting anybody's time, really ever. Save the Second is the only people I'm aware of that are even attempting to consider not helping the 20th richest dude on the planet destroy a 150-year-old Second Amendment organization. Not even for any reason. Like, hey, let's just do it for that rich guy for free because maybe he'll like us more or something. So Save the Second at least put some amount of effort towards getting people together, but they don't and they can't or whatever. You get Fudbusters. That's one of the lawyers from Firearms Policy, and maybe a third of his I like, but you know, they're worth watching. Sometimes they're good. Jaeger, same thing. He's almost always good, but I don't watch all his stuff unless you're interested in training. If you're still learning, then you've got nobody else you can learn from. You're going to find very few people that are better to learn from. Masada Ayub was in here, or he's not in here, but he will be. But that's one that's definitely worth listening to. Oh, I guess I put Combat Story here instead of under monthly. So Combat Story, as I mentioned, is just like Mic Drop, only shorter, and talks to people from NOM. And then 2A Cops, they haven't been doing anything, at the last month or so, but that's two retired police officers who lay it down and are just so far the best insight I've seen into, best consistent insight into law enforcement yet. All right, so that's a whole bunch of stuff on the podcast schedule. You can get that at Gun Calendars at any time. That's a little bonus because that had nothing to do with the rest of the show. Only the people listening got that little breakdown of the 2A podcast. Now, if I'm missing something, let me know. I'm not going to necessarily guarantee it's going to go in my list because I'm not going to promote people that are sellouts or people that are just exploiting news or people that are manipulating for sales. But people that are authentic and are posting about 2A, if you're on that list, let me know. All right, so let's see. Kojo's taking notes from DJ. Got to get some paper. He's going to DJ you. Then let's see. I don't know what this one, was all about. Might have offended something. DJ is standing tall. That's SS Pawn, dude who supports a lot of the gun channels community dudes out there in Nebraska. So I'm guessing, I don't know if DJ's been over there or not. Oh, look at this. New brass gun, huh? I guess there's, I think there's some potential there for, what is that called? It's like a pictograph. What is that called when you use images to describe a word? I seen Hashi was back. Yep, Smeggy knows. Smeggy knows. Did Smeggy ever meet Hashi? Was in Smeggy? Did you go to the SHOT Show? That's a long time ago. I'm trying to think back to what, 2016 era now? No, 17. I think Smeggy went to SHOT Show once. Nazi Germany disarmed the populace. Biden is attempting to disarm us. Correlation. Well, the Gun Control Act of 1968 is almost verbatim from Nazi law, so it's real easy to equate their actions with the actions of the socialists. So I don't know if he's trying to be a Nazi or if he's just doing things exactly like socialists do, but one of them two things. T-shirts on the way for summer events. Come visit. We have quarantine cattle. Okay, cool. So yeah, you met at Cha-Cha. I don't even know how many stories. I wouldn't even have any inclination to talk about some of the stories about some of the awesome stuff that's happened behind the scenes in 2A stuff. But lots and lots of memories are coming back now. So that's 2A for this week. And there's lots of other garbage out there. This was the good stuff. I don't know. There's somebody quirking me right now. I don't know. Matt's watching some movie. I would not recommend doing that. It's not even 2A. If you want to go watch something, go watch Clover. He's in here. He posted a bunch of stuff this week. He did an update earlier on the Texas situation, about a half an hour earlier today. This dude. Oh, wait, I missed this comment. Get Tony Simon on with me. Got Tony Simon on with me Monday. Still keep tabs on Texas stuff. Sucking up all the 2A coverage from Moon State. So Clover, for some reason, even though he acts like he knows what he's doing, decided to post all of his studio shows, like, or no, wait, what do you call them, Monday? Whatever his Monday show is called now. Parlor or whatever. He scheduled them weeks ahead of time. So, of course, I know about him because I was paying attention when he posted them. Everybody else is not going to know about him because the logarithm shuffled his shows in weeks ago. So nobody will know that he's got Tony on next week. But he does have Tony on next week. And then he has somebody else on the week after that I can't remember. What's all this about? Hearing Protection Act. New brass gun. Do you have a Hearing Protection Act going in Nebraska? Or are you just DJing me with a bunch of hashtags? With that, I think we're going to wrap it up. There's a link out there to there's a link out there to the show if anybody is Patreon. I don't know why they didn't jump in already, but one day maybe a Patreon will jump in here and I'll have somebody to chat with. Otherwise, it'll be boring. I'll just be doing the show by myself all the time. But that wraps it up just about an hour. If I keep talking for like 10 seconds more, we'll wrap it at just, oh no, I forgot to put in some of this stuff. So I guess it'll be over an hour. Here's some stuff that I made this. All right, so I needed to put that in there because last week I posted their actual one, which they just used some song, and that copyrighted my video. Assholes. So I tried doing it with just the this or that a million times, and we'll see if that copyrights it. And then there's a little something that I put together for Kingpin.
I can only assume that you will enjoy educating your family about how the Coast Guard is, quote, the hard nucleus around the Navy forms in times of war. You're a really dull class. I mean, come on, man. Is the sun getting to you? I would think you'd have an opportunity when I say that about the Navy to clap, but being here together.
My Coast Guard aides have been excellent. One of them taught me that And I quote, "The Coast Guard is that hard nucleus about which the Navy forms in time of war."
That drove me absolutely nuts, and I don't try to seek that stuff out, but it was on Instagram or someplace with a bunch of garbage around it, and I went and found it. And he gets that little like polite chuckle or whatever when he says that they're rude after not laughing at his weird ass broke joke. And then when he explains that he broke the joke or whatever, he gets a little bit more polite clapping, and then he sucks it in like a dog getting its belly rubbed. And then I went and watched Reagan, and it's hard to hear because of the oldness of it, and the PA, the public address system, is all echoey. But and Reagan's an actor, and he was better at delivering stuff. But you could tell that was what the speechwriters had, seen and tried to plagiarize or copy. And then what's his face, the new president, didn't deliver it right. It was just tough to see. So I figured Kingpin would probably could probably use that if he wants. And I just didn't want there was some stuff written on the one that I saw, and they omitted the little chuckle. I actually think that if when you leave it, it changes the connotation when he breaks the joke, and then and then he says, you people are a bunch of assholes, or whatever he says, and then you just leave it there. It implies that everybody just sat there stunned. But when they politely chuckle, it just shows that there's like an awkward, obligation of respect, but the lack of is just hangs there, right? So seeing the follow-up where he has to try to explain what he broke, the joke, and then how he is satisfied with obligatory little round of applause that he gets, if you want to call it that, and the difference in the two humans, just amazing. And whatever, we've had lots of presidents that suck, we've had lots of presidents that are awesome. They're just presidents, or just happen to be the person that we voted to stand up and do a bunch of stuff, but they're barely the head of one branch of a 3-branch government. So anyway, I don't like to focus on that stuff too much, but I cleaned it up a little bit, and I wanted to shove it in here to see if I could start doing it. A lot of the other people are jamming.
Борис, ты никогда не проигрывал.
Потому что я пью много водки.
Юрий, нам надо отмыть эти грязные деньги от крови.
Проклятые американцы!
Тепло сегодня для июля.
Юрий, кто эти бабы?
Ирина, это же наши дочери.
Черт, как же давно я пью. Как же вкусно, твою мать.
Россия, матушка, золото Каспия.
Отец, медведь опять убежал.
Идиот, ты выключил ядерный реактор.
Блядь.
Будешь сегодня ночью взламывать мне Пентагон.
Опять!
So whenever we feel like times are tough here, we should remember just what it's like typically in Russia. So, what do we got going on over here? It was probably a saying back in the day, but no one says it. What? And then fish eggs. All right, well, so that's the show. Thanks for joining in, and we'll be back to pick you up later.